believe that the people of the state of Georgia, that the majority of us are good people with good hearts that want to live in harmony, that want anybody who is willing to work for it and get the education for it and strive for it, that they have a fair opportunity to do so. That you're not prejudged because of your name on your resume or the kind of car that you pull up in or the zip code that someone may research based on your address. Right. We can get back to that, Georgia, because what we have seen thus far is we have seen issues on top of issues on top of issues on top of issues and just plain bad leadership. You know, you look at since the state miraculously opened up again, you know, we've been seeing coronavirus cases constantly increase. That's another issue, and it's impacting the minority community. I know it's a little off topic, but we're talking about what impacts the minority community.
Right.
That impacts the minority community more than any because of the lack of health care, because of the lack of attention of elected officials in those areas, because of the lack and the inability to get those people tested and make sure that we do the test. Drive-up testing ain't no good if I don't have a car. I haven't seen a Columbus City bus yet drive through a drive-up COVID-19 test, and a lot of those people that depend on that transportation to get that test done. Right. What are we doing to reach the people deep in our community who need our attention and need our help the most? We've forgotten about it. And we cannot lift our community and our state until we wrap our arms and our eyes and our hearts around everyone who makes up Georgia and our individual communities. And I'm gonna get off my soapbox with that one.
Yeah,
that's right.
You know, that's so true. When they opened up Georgia, it was just like, you look now, it's just like everybody is thinking that COVID-19 is gone. It's not gone, it's still here. You know, you can't let your guard down and things like that. But yeah, just like you said, Attorney Reese, we have a long way to go. We have a long way to go. We do.
And you have to stay.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Since you was at the rally and you spoke at the rally on Saturday in Brunswick, have you been getting backlash from your community?
Well, I am a pastor at two Unitarian Universalist congregations, which are two very, the Unitarian Universalist is very liberal, left-leaning. So the people that are in my congregations, which are mostly white, we do have some African Americans, it's mostly white. They're very, very supportive. So the people in my congregations are very supportive. Now, I do have people in my communities, though. In fact, I have family members. Well, I'll be honest with you. I didn't tell my mama that I spoke at that. You know, I have family members that would be that don't want me doing stuff like that. And so, and I have friends, former friends from when I growing up years, you know. But most of them have sort of put me aside anyway. They think I have been, as they said, I'm a traitor to my heritage. So be it. I have new friends, and that's fine too. But I'm still going to do what's right, and I don't care. People say, "Well, aren't you afraid of what these?" I don't care what they think about me. I'm going to do the right thing, and I'm going to try to encourage them to. I'm trying to. I haven't given up on a lot of these white people. Some of them I have. The ones that are still there's some that you might as well just give up on. But there's some that we might have a little bit of heart if we can reach them, you know. And so I work on it all the time. I work on it all the time because I know that you can change, you can read, you can expand your mind, you can get to know people. Once you get to know people, you can learn to love them. So people can change, and I'm hopeful that we can get to a point again. I think we're making some progress. And then, Lord, after the last few years, that we have really allowed this racism and hatred and division be all stirred up, not just related to African Americans, but foreigners and Muslims and Hispanic people. And it's like, oh no. And I think part of that is that folks that have been in the power, the white dominant, white supremacy, white power people, they were all right being nice to everybody else as long as they knew they still had the power. But the demographics are changing, and they're afraid they're going to lose their power. And so they're getting scared now. And so now they're not being all nice like they were for a while. And a lot of it's being stirred up from some of our leaders, and that make them more fearful, that put that fear in them. It's horrible. So those of us who want to have peace, liberty, and justice for everybody, nobody left out. We've got to stand together and work on it every day, and got to be intentional about it.
You know, Ms. Page, one thing that I saw that really warmed my heart and sent a strong message to America, what true Brunswick, Georgia is when I saw the press conference and so many leaders of all races, of all genders, you know, just people of from all walks of life coming together to speak truth. Those are the type of national displays that we must continue to do, because when we show that we can operate and maneuver in unity, that's going to be what beats back hatred, because it flies right into the face of their propaganda that everyone is divided racially, and that's not true. So the premise of their whole war and the premise of their whole movement then become debunked, because real, genuine, God-fearing Christian people, and those are the real Christian, not those that want to perpetuate racism and hide behind God. God wouldn't like that. No. Those people are the ones that are the true face of Brunswick. Those city council leaders, those commissioners, the black, the white ones, it really made me feel good to see them come together and stand together and say, this is not right. And we're not going to help anybody cover up any foolishness.
We have a lot of good folks in Brunswick, a lot of and a lot of good allies, and we're trying to encourage them, even with COVID-19. And people are scared to get out, but social distance and try to get out and proclaim, if you can, that we're going to stand together and make sure that the right kinds of things are done. Absolutely. Yes.
And you know, one thing that I've learned over the years, hate is taught.
It is.
You just don't wake up and say, I'm going to start hating Black people. I'm going to start hating Chinese people, Asian people. You just don't wake up like that. That's taught. At an early age, that is taught. Because you can't tell me a 1-year-old knows how to hate someone.
Right.
Those things are instilled inside of that child. And as they grow older and older, it gets deeper rooted down, and it just makes you hate, because it's not you're not born to hate. Yeah. And I just feel what happened to Ahmaud was 2 individuals that really hated Black people, and they saw the opportunity, and they chased this young man down. They chased him down. And killed him. They killed him, and then for his sister to post his body on Snapchat.
Yeah. Horrible.
That's horrible. That's horrible. That's horrible for a mother, a father, to know that their child's body was shown on social media. Yeah. It was just like it was a video that, who cares? Let me just show it. Who cares?
Well, you know, April, another thing that
go ahead, Attorney Reese.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say, another thing that bothered me too was, when I learned that the father in the shooting had just retired from the DA's office, right?
Yes. He was an investigator.
He was an
investigator.
Yeah, he was 3 months retired, right?
I don't know how long, but he was retired from the investigator. He had been a police officer, and then he was an investigator. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess what I'm getting to, whatever that period was, however long he's been retired, I don't think that much hatred in his heart to hunt a black man down in his community for jogging just appeared. My point is still valid. He had that in his heart the entire time he worked in the DA's office as well as in the police office. How many other people have been improperly mistreated because of this man's racial bias? And I really think that they need to do an investigation into all the cases he investigated to make sure that evidence wasn't hidden for folks that look like him that he wanted to help, to make sure that evidence wasn't created to put other black men in jail. You know, when you learn that someone who is working under oath for the people with the people's trust is violating that trust to the point to where they're carrying out racial acts, we owe it to the people to go back and look to make sure that they haven't done anybody else wrong during a time in which they had the people's trust and authority. Now, I haven't heard anything about that, but it needs to be looked at.
Well, there's a lot of corruption in this county with the whole system. It is. Not just this one person.
Wow.
You know, it's just like one of those things where Attorney Jackson that we was talking about earlier, I'm not going to call those names on here, but it's just like the good old boys. You know, that's what makes you think. The good old boys, they get to do what they want to do. Nobody's going to mess with the good old boys. And so, to me, it make it look like the McMichaels was the good old boys. Nobody's going to touch them. They're good. They're good people. They had to be doing the right thing. This young man was at him. He was doing something he didn't have any business. But that's not true. That's not true in this case. Attorney Jackson, I got a question for you.
And that's right.
I want to ask you a question. You know, we was talking about how, you know, you had to wait for the arrest to happen. But just looking at the video, what would have happened, do you think would have happened without having this video being shown? If this video never existed,
probably wouldn't have had an arrest. Probably would not have had an arrest, and probably would not have received the national attention that it's gotten. I know that a lot of people have split feelings on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, even TikTok, you know, whatever the medium may be. But one thing that it does provide in all its negativity, but also in this positivity, it provides a connection and the ability to get information to the masses by a click of a button. If you have a person like I believe it's Justin Timberlake, who have millions of followers, where a comment on this very issue, just by the click of a button, immediately reached millions of people. And with the video surfacing and that going out on social media mediums, that then puts pressure on those individuals, because once again, you're talking about millions of people that are saying, wait a minute, something's not right. And when you're talking about millions of people, those millions of people then get in contact with the voters of this community. And then when people start looking at, well, wait a minute, my constituency now is calling, writing, emailing, saying that, wait a minute, this is not right. What are you going to do to address this situation? Then that pressure then becomes, well, it's getting it's getting out there now. Now we've got to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So
mm-hmm.
so without the video,